Hey, so I realized I haven't made a video about this car in a while now. So I've been working on it quite a bit, and so a couple updates with this thing that I just never filmed. So the brakes are on. I went ahead and bled all the brakes and stuff, and now they work really good. They're very responsive, and they don't cling or hold up anymore. So brakes are fixed, and while I was in there, I went ahead and replaced the starter. And another thing that kind of encouraged me to go ahead and do the starter while I was in there is that the clutch slave cylinder is like behind it, so I had to remove it to get to it anyways, right? So I was wanting to bleed that so that I could have good clutch performance whenever I do start driving it, because the previous owner said that it slipped. So I just wanted to give it the best chance to actually survive while I'm learning to drive manual, because I'm not great at it. So that's why I did that, and I replaced it with a IMI high torque starter. Now I don't have the box for it anymore, but I do have the old one right here. And so this one worked fine, but you know, if I'm in there and I want this car to be reliable and start up real nice, I thought I'd go ahead and throw it in there. It wasn't super expensive for starters, especially for an old car too. I mean, sure, it's aftermarket, but like it works a lot better than that, and it starts up like pretty much first crank, which is really nice. And I think I got it for like $270. It was pretty simple, just 2 bolts. However, I did have to replace the electrical fittings on it so that it would work. I was thinking that this would work, but the connector size right here wasn't big enough to go around the starter wires, so I had to do a little bit of a, I don't know, problem solving, I guess, to fix that, because I looked all over to get a terminal with the right size, this thing, and just like, it's a lot of back and forth, because like I don't really do too much electrical connections and stuff like that, but it was a good learning experience because now I know what I'm doing. Heat shrink, solder, stuff like that. So that was nice, but it's kind of cramped under there, so it was a little bit hard to do it all, and it's a little bit sketchy because if you do the soldering wrong, it might fall onto your face. So that's what kind of freaked me out about it. Little update here too. I replaced the spark plug wires because the other ones were original, meaning that they were 40 years old. So I did not trust the the wiring on them, because they could have a little bit of a cut or tear in them. Sure, the car was running fine beforehand, but you know, if all of this stuff here is aluminum and magnesium, right, it's probably not great. Now, magnesium is not super ductile, so it's not going to really ground out to that, but it might ground out to the camshaft housing. So that's why I went ahead and replaced the wires. Plus, it kind of dressed up the thing a little bit nicer, and it gave me an excuse to go ahead and change these spark plugs. So that was pretty nice. While I was in here, shoot, I don't know why I didn't turn the light on. While I was in here though, whenever I pulled this third spark plug out, this was for cylinder 3. You can tell the firing order right here, which is actually pretty cool. I like that little detail that they added. So while I pulled this out, the weird thing about these spark plug wires is that you can keep on pulling and you don't feel any like movement at all, and then all of a sudden it just like pops right out and it goes real fast, right? So obviously I broke this fitting right here, so I had to buy another one of these, and you know, thank God, because it was actually not super expensive and I was able to find a replacement. Shout out to 944 online. They have really good stuff. They have like literally everything you could possibly need, so thanks to those guys. And so I was able to start the car. It runs nice, and then I took it for its first drive, and you know, it runs pretty damn good. There is one thing that I don't like though, which is the clutch pedal. And I know I literally just said that I bled the clutch and everything, but it's down to the free play in it, because it doesn't engage until you're like pretty much all the way out. So maybe that's why it's slipping, why the previous owner said that the clutch slips, because if it's all the way out and it's not fully disengaged, then obviously the clutch is going to slip, because it's not fully engaging. So that might be one of the reasons it's bad. And I'm hoping that I don't actually have to replace the clutch at all, because it doesn't seem like it's that bad. It feels pretty good, honestly. And I know that the throw-out bearing is coming out and sliding with the clutch, because, I don't know, you can just feel it in the pedal. And then something that some people might say is a little gaudy, I went ahead and painted these with some high heat spray paint just to match the spark plug wires, because I don't know, it looks a lot better than having some crusty old yellow on these parts. So I just went ahead and spray painted those, and they actually turned out really, really nice. Also, you can see that it says oil on it. Nice little detail. Thanks, Porsche. Thank you, guys. Yeah, and so if you haven't been keeping up with the project, which I know pretty much nobody has, because I only have like, I don't know, 10 subs or something like that. But anyways, so other stuff that I did before this all was a alternator, because it was whining like super bad whenever I was first got the car, and it wouldn't whine on startup, but as soon as the battery was charged, it would start whining. So and the battery light was on, so obviously it was an alternator, right? Go ahead and replace that. And then while I was in there, I realized the compressor, right, the housing for it, or well, I don't know how to explain it. It was like a tab that is where the bolt screws into. So yeah, it was broken off, and I don't have a welder. I don't have a welding machine. I don't know how to weld. And also, I feel like it'd be pretty expensive to go and find that, or go and learn, or buy the machine and learn it, right? So it's a lot of money, right? So I just looked around and I found a compressor that worked for it. Now, the compressor that works for it is actually for R134A. So, and this used to be R12. So I went ahead and replaced it all. And what's nice about it is now I can actually buy some Freon for the car and not melt during the summer. There is going to be a new blower motor that I put in there, because the previous owner had one, so I can go ahead and replace that whenever I want. He just said that there was some wiring issues with it, so I'm gonna have to figure that out. He didn't really say too much about it, but yeah, we're gonna have to mess around with some stuff and see what's going on with that. So might make a video about that in the future. But anyways, whenever I replaced the compressor, it fixed a lot of the problems with the belt and the noises, right? Because the compressor works as a belt tensioner, because there is a adjustable rod that pushes the compressor this way, and so it kind of tensions the whole belt together, right? So the alternator stays in place, but the compressor kind of swings like this, and the arm pushes it in and out, right? And so then you lock it with some lock nuts on there, and then it makes it so that the belt is compressed, or tensioned, sorry. And I think it's supposed to be 2 millimeters of deflection on there, but now it doesn't have any whining sound or anything like that, and it feels like it runs really nice too. I can't tell any problems with it so far. Hopefully I don't have anything start up like that. And so what I noticed about it is that if the like, damn. If the parts where the bolts like actually screw in are broken or anything like that, obviously the compressor can actually start to turn like this, which is really bad because it's going to bring the alternator pulley out of round. So it'll start making that terrible squealing noise that I was hearing. And so it kind of, solved all the problems by replacing all that stuff, because now they're in line and they're actually flush, and now the belts won't be going in and out like this. And so everything's, just lined up very good. So there's not going to be any squealing noise. So I'm pretty happy about that. Another thing that I did, I guess I could go ahead and throw the car on real quick. But I don't know, it's not really worth it. I did replace the headlights. They used to be halogens, but now I have some halo ring lights on here. Some people are going to hate the fact that I did that because they're Porsche purists, but the old headlights, they were kind of like holding a candle out in front of you while you were driving. It's like, you really can't see much. And the new ones that I have on there, you can definitely see a lot more, and they look pretty nice. So I was pretty happy to replace those. The motor still works, thank God. I was looking at Pelican Parts and 944 only, and I think it was 944 online as well. There's a whole bunch of different websites, but anyways, they want a lot of money for these motors, like $500, which is not good. Not good at all, right? So just happy that the motor works still, so that's good. What else? Oh yeah, so for this car, the cruise control doesn't work, so I think I might unbolt this and take it off so then I can have like a cleaner engine bay, because if this isn't here, it just cleans up the look of it a lot more. Also, I was looking and I found some other cruise control units for this, and they're pretty expensive, and I don't really use cruise control too much, so like, why buy it, you know? And then there's a exhaust manifold leak. I'm gonna fix that. There is a gasket that I got for both the head and the camshaft tower. The camshaft tower, replacing that gasket is a whole lot easier than replacing the head gasket. I know it's only like a little bit deeper that you need to go, but you need to do a whole bunch of other prep work before you can actually take the head off, compared to just the camshaft, like draining coolant and just a whole bunch of other timing things that you gotta focus on. So I think I'm really only gonna replace the camshaft gasket, and it also gives me an excuse to go ahead and paint this and the intake manifold, and I think they would turn out pretty nice looking if I was to do that. And so I think that's pretty much all the stuff that I'm going to be doing to it. And lastly, right down here, I don't know if you can see that actually. I know you can see it from right here if I get my flashlight on it. Alright, so, that oily mess right there, right, it's kind of hard to, like, actually see. Oh, here we go. So that right there, if you can see past that little wire right there, that is the boot for the power steering rack. So, definitely time to go, right? And so, the car, it steers, right? It steers fine. The power steering pump is disconnected because it runs off of a separate belt, so I don't have to have it connected. But, like, if it is in that condition and I keep driving it, it's probably going to sling some power steering fluid onto the rotor and the caliper, and I just replaced them. So it's like, as soon as I got the car driving, like, I still got to rip it apart and do some more work to it. But it shouldn't be that bad of a job, because, I mean, like, I got an alignment rack that I could probably use at work and just, you know, fix all that stuff up. I got jacks. I have everything I need to, you know, fix it, so it's not really that big of a deal. I got a reseal kit too. I didn't get a new rack because getting a new rack is so much more ridiculously expensive than actually getting a reseal kit. It was like $5,000 at the cheapest that I found for a new power steering rack, which is crazy, you know. And so, yeah, we're not doing that. We're just not doing that. So I'm gonna take it off and then take it apart and do a reseal on it, because I got a little kit that had a power steering reservoir right here. A couple other things like new boots, new seals, and it had some new hardware and bushings for it. So all of that stuff is going to be replaced, and it's going to be very nice once I get it all back together, because it won't be throwing power steering fluid everywhere. However, I am going to have to flush the system out whenever I do replace it all, because there's probably dirt in the power steering fluid. So if I reseal the whole thing and then I put it back together without cleaning it out, it's just going to fail again, because there's going to be dirt in the lines that will get into the power steering rack, and then it's just going to mess up the seals again. So I'm going to have to flush that out before I do anything again. So yeah, that's kind of where I'm at right now. I'm going to try and start in on the power steering rack today and start doing a little bit of work on that. I have a big table up here that I'm just gonna set up here in this area, so then I'll take it off and then I can just put it down here, set up a camera, replace everything. Another nice thing about it is that the website that I got it from, they have a link to a video where this guy actually rebuilds the power steering rack, and he tells you exactly what orientation all the seals go and like what order to do them in as well. And so as long as I organize the seals correctly, it will be so easy to rebuild it, because there's actually going to be a video that I can follow. I guess I might make a video myself whenever I am you know, replacing it, and then just cut out like the parts that like I need to review, I guess, and then just put it all together, kind of make a little time lapse of it, and then put it back in. Maybe that might be helpful for anybody else who is wanting to do this job. But yeah, that table just right here. So yeah, I don't know. It's pretty fun that I can actually drive this car now, but you know, power steering rack has to get fixed. So yeah, I guess we'll start in on that. But thanks for listening to the updates about this car. Pretty exciting. And also paint's chipping, so in the future I'm gonna try and get this thing either wrapped or resprayed to white. I think respraying it might be my better option, even though it's like originally like this paint color. Like the paint is just so weathered that it's like there's no point in trying to, you know, like keep it, because it's just gonna make the wrap worse, because it's not gonna be level or anything like that. So I mean, it's probably just more worth my time to get it resprayed white, and plus I can have the door jambs on the inside white as well if I do get it resprayed, and that will, I don't know why, but that's like a big thing for me. Like I think it would look very nice to have the inside right here be white as well, because I mean, yeah. Anyways, I'm just kind of rambling about it, but the interior is still pretty nice, except for these seats. This is a S2 bucket seat. They hug a lot more. I like them, but there's also some very bad damage to the original seats. Here's the other one. Like, I don't even know how it got to this condition whenever the guy had them, because it's like, did a cat get in a car or something and just start tearing stuff up? Because like, I just don't get how that kind of a rip happens, you know? That's pretty extreme. But if I sell this, I could probably get a good like $200-300 for it, with the conditions it's in, because these go for a lot of money, like a lot, because I think they were made in a collaboration with Recaro, so that's why they're very sought after, and so I can go ahead and sell it for a good amount of money. If it was in mint condition, I could probably get like $1,200 out of it, which, yeah, I know, that's wild, right? And hopefully it will repay, like, the money that I get from it, I can use towards the reupholstery of these, because I can buy some seat covers and then just do it myself. And it's not really that hard of a job. It's just sliding on a leather cover over some foam. But obviously I'm going to have to get some new foam and repair this stuff. So I guess that might be an interesting video I can do in the future on this car. But yeah, everything's feeling pretty nice now. I also did a new seal on this, and then replaced these parts in here because they broke before. You can see this one better. Yeah, but those are 3D printed, so I'm surprised that they work as good as they do, because they're actually pretty damn stout. But yeah, the sunroof still works. I don't want to take it off ever though, because I'd rather just like not deal with the fact that it was very hard to get into place, because the locks just wouldn't engage, because you have to push it down a lot to actually have it go over. But yeah, I don't know, it's just, I'm very happy with the progress I've been making so far, so very cool. I'm also going to replace this wheel at some point, whenever I get the chance, because I want to get a Momo Mod 7 in here, and then probably a new horn button as well, with a like little Porsche badge. I think that'd be cool. And I mean, I guess it makes sense to do it like soon, because I'm going to be replacing the power steering rack So, I mean, I guess I might order that as soon as I can. But yeah. Anyways, thanks for listening to me yap about everything that I'm doing to my car, and hopefully you are interested in trying to follow the project a little bit. Thanks.